so we're going to do an oil change on the Tomahawk, and this is how you do it. And a sample kit. Oh, and a sample kit, okay. Get those up on that little drain plug there, that's nice. And then we open up the valve when it's ready, and you've got a sample bottle there.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. You've got the sample bottle there, got some documents in here.
You don't take the sample at the first bit of oil because that'll be full of junk.
Yeah, right.
You take it off in mid-flow.
Okay, so you take it off in mid-flow. Is it running okay for you, or?
It's a bit cold, we're just getting there.
Okay.
Let that flow through a little bit first.
Yeah, sure. So you fill it between those two lines.
Yep. And they measure the amount of contaminants compared to the amount of hours the soil's done. So you calculate the amount of hours the soil's done, and they measure the contaminants, and then they check it against previous diagnoses and find out if the wearing rate has increased.
Right.
If it hasn't, well, it's all good.
So place a cap on that, and then we take that into the office, or you want the maintenance release, I suppose.
You will. You've
Yeah.
got to calculate the amount of oil added and how many hours the oil's done.
Right.
And they need to know the brand,
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah. Quite frankly, I don't think we added any oil since we did the 100 hourly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, don't need it.
Yeah. So this is the reason why it's important to just, if you're going to top the oil up, make a little note of it. You can do that in the maintenance release, can't you?
We leave a spot, if you have a look at your maintenance release, there's a spot on there.
Yep.
We write oil added and you fill in how much you add in.
I saw that. Yeah, so
what
that's
it's
where
for.
you put that in, and that's what that's for.
That's what that's for. So
Great.
I can work this out.
Yeah, right. Good stuff. So obviously we're writing the rego on the lid of the oil sample, so we can't get that confused with anyone else. So we get a little bit of lunch while we're doing the oil change.
You have a cooling shroud around your oil filter, which is first got to be removed. You remove it in 3 sections, really. Undo that far enough to remove the headpiece. There's the headpiece. Take that, put that over there out of the way. Now we remove the shroud, like so. And there's your oil filter. So we don't make a mess. Cut this to try and catch the oil, and this hopefully will fit in there to drain into. And we undo the lock wire. Not that one. Remove the excess so we don't stab ourselves, just in case of spillage. Right. Now we can undo it. There's your oil filter. Dated from when it was fitted, with the hours when it was fitted. New oil filter to go on. As you can see, it's called a spin ease, this one, which is different from the other one. You do not need to lubricate that. The old style you do.
Right.
And they keep that on there to keep it clean.
Perfect.
And it was. So then we know when it was fitted. Tape will talk to you. Because they're also calendar as well as hours. Calibrated torque wrench.
Nice.
There's instructions on installing the oil filter written on the side. Follow them and it'll work. That's why I wanted your camera, I want to get that one across. Can't really cross thread it because it's too coarse a thread. And if you can spin it on with your fingers, it's not cross threaded. Once you got it down to as tight as you can get by hand, take your torque wrench, and as on the side it said 16 to 18 foot-pound. In this case I set it on a lot less than that. 17. And then just torque it up. That would be more than enough. Here's your lock wire. I use 32 thou. Probably best recommended for doing this job. Can use 25 if no other is available. It's not going to break. It's only to safety it in place. So if whatever circumstances cause it to try to undo, it cannot. I have a pair of lock wire pliers. You can use any pliers for this job. The wire needs to be twisted together. It doubles its strength. And being stainless steel, I doubt it's going to break anyway. Take that out of there before it falls over and wastes all of our time trying to keep things clean. As carefully as possible so we don't spill it, would be best. Don't want to hurt any of the workings of the aircraft while we're doing it. Go. We withdraw this. Remembering, we put rags in there too, so make sure you get them out. If they catch light, you wonder what's burning under your engine cowl. You twist the end like that so you don't stab yourself on the end of it. It really hurts if you do. And tuck it in nicely. And there's your oil filter on and lock wired. Next you refit this. If you notice there's a cutout there, that aligns on the vac pump over there because there's not enough room to go behind it. Other than that, slide it on.
Let's see the cutout again. Alright.
Yeah, the cutout goes on that.
Yeah.
See how that overhangs just in there?
Yeah.
So if you don't put that on there, it won't slide down far enough. You can't get that on, the whole thing's broken.
Sure.
careful while you're doing this. There's wires and all sorts of things in place. Once you've slid that on, before you tighten up those, you have this that's got to go back in there again. Put that in before you tighten the outer, or you'll never get it in there. If you notice, then one bit slips inside the other. Trying to keep everything aligned, tighten the clamps. Be careful of that. If you have a look, it's starting to, that is going under that, so it'll go tight and it's not tight, so you may need to come back a bit. Just make sure that's going over it, not under it like it is. Whilst trying to hold it in position, so preferably it doesn't touch the back pump as well and wear on it, you try to clamp it onto the oil filter. Hold that in while you do up this bit, because it'll clamp down on that. You'll know when it's done up tightly enough, because the whole thing will not move when you heave on it. And that's it, back on. There's your oil cooler. Slipping your clamp back on that hose. We install that hose back on there. Making sure we slide this down towards the end, so that we're actually clamping not on the hose but on the cooler. Right, once that's secure,
So that's nice and tight. Looks good. Yeah. Good. Good.
the last thing you do is have a good look for any excess oil, any rags, tools, etc. may be left behind. Doesn't hurt to grab things that are fairly solid and give them a bit of a shake, a bit of a look around while you're there, and just run your fingers under there, because that's where your leak's going to show up. Down the bottom, look in from up here.
Right.
That's where your leak's going to show up, down where that finger is. So, once you've done all that, you can close this side of the cow.
Okay. Nice.
Come out to this side, that over there, have another look back where you've been playing, make sure there's nothing, you didn't miss anything, looking from the other side, everything looks good in there, haven't spilled oil everywhere, everything's nice and clean. Reach down, shut that off, taking a rag, and get that end white, because you tend to get a bit of oil around there. Try to get as much of it out as you can. You'll probably still end up with a couple of drops. Have a look down the bottom here, you'll see where the hose is just drilled a little bit down the side.
Oh yeah.
Remove all that residue, or the owner will think he's got a oil leak. Alright,
That's a good line.
hold that one. I'll take the drum end of the way.
Alright.
That's your
It's
old
dark after what we haven't done.
No, that's
How many
not,
hours did we do in it?
25.2.
25.2.
Something like that.
Alright.
That's about a normal colour.
Okay.
A really dark one is basically black, and if you smell it, you got a little bit there, so you can smell.
Oh yeah, smells like oil.
Yeah, it smells like oil, but it smells like it's a little bit burnt.
Yep.
That's because your cylinders,
Yep.
you always get a bit of burn back through them, a bit
Yep.
of carbon build up in there.
Yep.
That's what you can smell.
Right.
If that was really black oil and thick,
Yep.
that'd have been one of the cylinders playing up.
Yeah, righto. So it looks good.
Yeah, that's not a bad colour. Not long with that channel. And oil, that's dispersant W100. Stand there, aircraft engine oil. Shell. And we just pump it in. What does your aircraft normally run at, oil-wise?
6.
About 6 or...
Yeah, I think it was just a bit more. We put in at the 100 hourly, and it burned about half a quart or so, you know, if that.
I'll put 6 in this time.
Yep.
And you'll lose probably half a quart into the cooler.
Into the
5
filter.
and a half is still plenty.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Okay.
But I wouldn't let
If
yours
you put,
get...
what if you put a bit more than 6 in?
Well, they already use a bit more than
Oh,
6.
right,
I
okay.
always tend to.
Yeah, just put a bit more in.
That's always.
Okay, cool. Very nice. So that's all the oil that goes into a Tomahawk. Look at
All the oil needed in a Tomahawk.
There you go.
There's your filler with markings on it.
Yep.
As you can see,
Yeah, nothing in there.
nothing in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you take this and put it in there. And this just takes time. Takes longer when you've got one litre containers.
Here we have no oil on the dipstick, which is something you only ever see when you're doing an oil change.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So while the oil's running down the tube and sorting itself out, I'll go over and cut open the oil filter, the old one.
Yeah,
See if I can
right.
find any metal.
Yeah. Good. Because you won't get a correct reading for what, about 5-10 minutes or so.
No.
Yeah, obviously depending on the temperature of the day and the temperature of the oil. Yeah, cool.
Very much so. Something to keep an eye on. See where it rattles there and wears?
Oh yeah.
Don't let that get too deep, or the end of the dipstick ends up in there.
Yeah, right.
It's just because it hangs, it sits.
Yeah, right.
So it's just sitting against the edge down there and just vibrating there.
Okay.
Identify you have the right oil filter, PAA. This is specifically designed to cut aircraft oil filters. Basically a big can opener. Once you've wound it down as far as it can go, wind the cutting wheel in. Then, hopefully, like that. That sort of opener prevents you putting oil, metal particles inside the filter, so you don't get a false reading. That's your filter. Paper element version. I'm starting at that one there, which is a metal one. Cut behind it, all the way around. According to cutting things. you've done that, get hold of that end where you cut it straight. Peel it out. Like that. That is where the metal's going to be. That is where the oil goes in. It goes in from the outside and there to the engine. So that's the side you look at. That there is a bit of gap corning, I would say. Normally you can tell by the fact it just smears like that. And that's probably off the base of that when it was fitted. So what's that? Always face the side you wish to see towards you, so you know what side you're looking at. Although metal on either side is not good. Once you get up here you can just tear it. And that, aside from the oil reflection, there's no shinies.
Looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. Let it sit there and drain. You'll get a better indication when it drains, but that looks pretty good. There's a speckle.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Double check your oil.
Yeah.
Which is spot on 6, maybe slightly over, but that'll get swallowed up by the core.
That's great. You never over tighten those things.
No.
Just hand tighten, and that's because it's got the O-ring on the top.
Two reasons. You've got the O-ring on the top. The more you tighten it up, the more you're going to wear, because they're only plastic, but they tend to wear out that, which is aluminium, and you wear the threads and they'll eventually come loose.
Yeah, right. So the tools are pretty simple.
Okay. That's got to be signed off before you can fly. By myself or you as a pilot can sign it. The date we carried it out. This here, that date's now incorrect. Because today's the 13th, 4 months from today is the 13th of the 8th, I believe. So we can now,
Sure about
two
that?
lines through that. 13th of the 4th, isn't it?
Of what?
13th of the 4th today?
It's the 13th of the 4th.
Yes. So 4 months from today is 13th of the 8th.
Alright.
And that's when it's next due for another oil change.
Okay.
As for the hours, current hours are that on the air switch, and you can add 50 hours to that.
Yeah.
And that's when it's due again, so that'll be
539.2.
yeah. So it's due at either 539.2, put AS, show air switch, or the 13th of the 8th, 18.
Right.
Okay? That way, in 4 months or 50 hours from today.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this here is seen as part of your logbook statement. So you enter there. That it was due. In this case you put today's date on it. That's when you did it. And item one.
Yep.
Oil and filter change carried out. And in my case, I put down my job number, which is that one there. And who I work for. In case it's required to know. And then I can sign there as an engineer. But the pilot can enter this as well.
Right.
50 hour. And that takes care of your paperwork.
Good. Nice. Thank you very much. Good work. Oh yes, one other question I had was when we do the oil, when I top the oil up, the section for that area.
If you look there, you'll see oil added.
Oh yeah, right.
So say you put a litre in,
Yep.
put a 1. Put 2 litres in,
Yeah.
put a 2.
Yeah, righto.
Put half litre, 0.5.
Yeah, righto.
So-
Okay. Okay, so that's in litres.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Alrighty, nice and easy. Fantastic. Around here. Pop that in there.
And as you were with me when we were checking under that cow to make sure I left nothing behind,
Yeah.
can you please sign there and put your file box on?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Alright. Good work. Well, thanks very much. That was really super. Thank you. Yeah, nice work. So it looks like we got a little bit of weather on the way, so maybe it'd be a good idea to get the aeroplane back in the hangar on the other side, and we've completed the oil change. So we've done a little run up, and for about 8 minutes or so, brought some temperature back into the oil, and run it up to 1000 RPM, 1200, 1500, and brought it up to around about 2000 RPM. So just check the oil pressure. When I first started the engine, the oil pressure did take a little bit to get going. I noted that, and it was probably just went a little bit into the yellow as the oil, as the oil filter filled with oil. It dropped back down again momentarily, and then came back up into the green. So that was an interesting little observation that I made. It took less than a second for all that to happen, so everything seems to be in good order. Now we'll just check to see that the cowling doesn't have oil all over it. If that's if everything's nice and clean under there, we're good to go. So how does it all look under there? That's the idea. You can see that front coming, and there's a bit of rain behind that, and I suspect there's a bit of wind associated with that front as well. So we got her all safe and sound in the hangar, and let's just have a look inside the cow so we can finish this job. See if there's any oil that's accumulated inside the cowling, and it all appears to be nice and clean and oil free. Looking up around that oil filter there, that's where it's going to come out, and it all appears to be in very, very good order. So that's it, an oil change in a PA38 Tomahawk. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and of course give us a thumbs up if you like my videos. Take care.